mathematicians. This video is especially about singularities and in particular isolated singularities. Okay, what are the type of singularities and how to find them? Okay, so first uh, I'll explain the concept of singularities, how to find them. Then I have collected various functions given in the previous CSIR problems about singularities, and we will solve them. I'll solve few of them, and the rest of them I'll leave it as an exercise that you guys can try by yourself and uh, s- share it in the comments. I'll be very happy to see your answers. Okay. Now, many people are watching my videos, but only some of you guys have subscribed. So, if you are watching my videos but not subscribed, please subscribe now. Also, if you like the video, please like at the end. Okay, so let's see. So, now we are interested in functions from complex plane to complex plane. Okay, so what is the meaning of analytic at a point z naught? Okay, so this is my notation for z. Okay, so please remember this. Okay, why do we need the definition of analyticity? Because I mean vaguely singularities are the points at which function is not analytic. Okay, but that is not the correct definition. But yeah, let's see. So a function f is analytic at a point z naught if it has a derivative at each point in some neighborhood of z naught. Okay, so you have a point z naught, and we say that a function is analytic at this point if you can find a neighborhood around this point inside inside this neighborhood the function should be differentiable. Okay, so I mean definition is a very usual definition of analyticity. Let's continue. What is singularity at a point z naught? Okay, first we see singularity, then we see what is isolated singularity. So I mean, if you understand this singularity, essential singularity, then in the among the sorry singularity, removable singularity, then there are I'm sorry, singularity, isolated singularity. Among isolated singularity, there are three types of them: removable singularity, poles, and essential singularity. Okay, so if you understand them conceptually, what they mean, then you can solve any problem. Okay, so you just try to understand conceptually what they mean. Then basically, then if you know the series expansions of sine z, cos z, tan z, cosec z, and then e power z, log z. If you know the series expansion of them clearly, then just you group this conceptual idea with the power series expansion of them. Together you group it, you will get the exact answer without any difficulty. So try to understand the concepts. Okay, what is singularity at a point z naught? So z naught is a singularity of a function f if it should satisfy two conditions. Okay, first condition, f is not analytic at z naught. Okay, this is what I said at the first. Basically singularities are the function at which f is not analytic, but that is a vague definition because you need one more condition. What is that condition? F is analytic at every point in, so every point in, oh sorry, there is a mistake. At F is analytic at some point in every neighborhood of Z naught. Okay, okay, so let me just briefly explain. So we have the point Z naught, and we say that this Z naught is a singularity if the function is not analytic this at this point Z naught, but you draw any neighborhood. Okay, doesn't matter any neighborhood. In every neighborhood of Z naught, you can always find a point at which the function is analytic. Okay, therefore, a function is analytic at a point if if you have the point z naught, then there exists a neighborhood. Okay, there exists a neighborhood in which at every point function is analytic. Okay, there exists a neighborhood at every point. But when you come to the singularity, for every neighborhood there is a point. Okay, so that is a difference you try to understand. So here I have noted it. Analytic means each point of some neighborhood. Singularity means some point in every neighborhood. Okay, so that is a conceptual difference. Okay, now if we assume, so now we know the definition of singularity. Let's continue. Let's see what is isolated singularities. A singular point z naught is said to be isolated if f is analytic at every point of the open ball center at z naught of radius epsilon minus z naught for some epsilon greater than 0. What is this meaning? So you have z naught. Z naught is said to be isolated singularity if you can find some epsilon greater than 0 such that you look at the neighborhood of z naught of radius epsilon and you just remove z naught, remove the center of this neighborhood. Function should be analytic at every point in this neighborhood. So again we have this point z naught. This z naught is said to be a singularity if function is not analytic at this point, but you take any neighborhood. What you do inside that, you can find a point at which the function is analytic. Okay, that is singularity. Now isolated singularity means that you have the point z naught. Now you can find a neighborhood. Okay, so some epsilon neighborhood such that you just remove the point z naught, you remove the center, then inside this neighborhood the function should be analytic. Okay. Okay, so you try to remember what is isolated singularity. Why it is called isolated singularity? Because in this epsilon neighborhood, z naught is the only singularity. In some sense, inside that neighborhood, z naught is isolated. Okay, so that is why it is called isolated singularity. Okay, okay. Try to understand the definition of analytic function. That is also some neighborhood is involved. Then try to understand the definition of singular point. That is also some neighborhood is involved. Now we are looking at the definition of isolated singularities. It is also some neighborhood is involved in the definition. Okay, so yeah, neighborhood minus the center, it is called a deleted neighborhood. Okay, so a singular point z naught is said to be a isolated singularity if function is analytic in a deleted neighborhood of in a deleted neighborhood of the point z naught. Okay, so this is clear. So pretty much this is the this much basic understanding is good enough. Let's see some examples of isolated singularities. So you consider the function f of z equal to z minus 1 by z power 5 by z square plus 9. Then look at the points wherever the denominator vanishes. So it is that is 0 and it at plus or minus 3i. Okay. So these points are isolated singularities because about 0 you can draw this disk. Okay, this you can look at the this neighborhood of 0, it will contain only 0. Okay, similarly if you look at this smaller neighborhood of minus 3i, it will contain only 3i. I mean the only singularity of f of z inside this disk will be minus 3i. Similarly for 3i also you can find a disk in which only 3i is the singularity. Therefore these 3 points are isolated singularities. So we see examples of non-isolated singularities. Let's see. Consider f of z equal to 1 by sin pi z. Okay. Sin z equal to 0 when z equal to n pi. Okay. Therefore sin pi z sin pi by z equal to 0 when pi by z equal to n pi for n belongs to z. Therefore, we conclude that for z equal to 1 by n, this series is, sorry, the sine of pi by z, sine pi by z become 0. Okay. Now, also this function is not defined at 0. Okay. So, the singularities are 0 together with set of all 1 by n such that n belongs to integers. Okay. Okay. These are all the singularities. Now, we want to see which of them are isolated singularities. Let's see. So, now if you look at 0, you draw any neighborhood, however small neighborhood around 0, inside that you will always have some 1 by n. Okay, because 1 by n sequences converges to 0. Okay, and minus 1 by n is also converges to 0. Therefore, you cannot find a neighborhood around 0 which contain only 0, only singularity 0. Okay, so in every neighborhood of 0 there will be always some other singular point, there will be another singularity. Therefore, we conclude that 0 is a singular point, but it is not an isolated, singular point. Okay, remember this is an example of a non-isolated singular point. Then if you look at the this 1 by n belongs to z, that uh, uh, singularities. So like they are, for example, like if you look at 1 by n and 1 by n plus 1, so there is some distance between them. So you can always draw this kind of neighborhoods such that neighborhoods contains 1 by n or the neighborhood contains 1 by n plus 1. Similarly, you can find a neighborhood contain minus 1 by n only, and neighborhood contain only minus 1 by n plus 1. Okay, because the distance between minus 1 by n and minus 1 by n plus 1 is, it is a positive distance. Therefore, you can always find some neighborhood which contain only one singular points. Okay, so we conclude that all these points are isolated singularities, but 0 is a non-isolated singularity. Okay. Okay, now like we consider f of z equal to log z with the principal branch. So with principal branch means that in the negative real axis with 0, this function has singularities. Okay, all the points in the negative real axis with 0, this function has singularity. Now, if you look at all the singularities, you cannot find a neighborhood which contains only itself. Okay, so all these points are singularities. Okay, therefore all the singularities are non-isolated singularities for log z. Okay, to define, to classify the isolated singularities, we need a Lorentz series expansion of functions from C to C. So this is from the complex analysis textbook Churchill. It is a very good book. Please have a look at it. And let me phrase the theorem statement. So basically, it says that suppose a function f is analytic throughout an annular domain R1 strictly less than mod z minus z naught less than R2. It means that, so you take the point z naught and you draw a circle of radius R1 about z naught. Similarly, you draw a circle of radius R2 about z naught. Okay, so this is R1, this is R2. Now you look at the region bounded between them. Okay, basically outside this circle and inside this circle. Okay, so this area bounded by these two circles, this intermediate, that is called the annular region. Okay, so if you take any point here, it's so if you take a point here, its distance from z naught will be less than r1. If you take a point here, its distance from z naught will be greater than r1 but less than r2 because it is lying inside the circle. Okay, therefore this inequality means that the point z is coming from annular region of z naught. Okay, okay, so f is analytic throughout an annular domain. So f is analytic everywhere in this annular region, center at z naught, and let C denote any positively oriented simple closed contour around z naught. I mean, like, so remaining statement you can read. If you have such a function f analytic in annular region, then f of z has a Lorentz series expansion about the point z naught. Okay, what is Lorentz series expansion? So it will have positive power. See, summation n equal to 0 to infinity a n z minus 0 whole power n plus summation n equal to 1 to infinity b n by z minus z naught power n. So now we have negative powers of z minus z naught power n also coming, because z minus z naught power n is coming in the denominator. Okay. Okay, if it is an analytic function, then by Taylor's theorem, it will have a power series expansion of this form. It will have only positive terms. Okay, analytic function in a disk. But now this is analytic function in a annular region, and Z naught is a singularity. Okay, so uh, for such functions, we have a Lorentz series in which both the positive powers of z minus z naught and negative powers of z minus z naught will occur. Okay. Now this coefficient an and bn can be calculated using the contour integrations. Okay. Okay. So this is so moral of the story: Lorentz series exists. So now let's look at some singularity, and around that singularity in some annular region, we take this annular region. Okay, so this there is no condition that this r1 has to be positive. So if you take r1 to be 0, then a 0 in a neighborhood of radius 0 about a point will contain only that point. Okay, so let z not be a singularity, and remove z not is a removable singularity, and we look at the Lorentz series expansion of f of z about z naught. So it will have a positive power of z naught z minus z naught and a negative power of z minus z naught also. Now this is called the negative powers. Some of the negative powers is called the principal part of f at the point z naught. Okay, and um, this since z naught is a uh, isolated singularity, if it is an isolated singularity, means that you can find some r greater than 0 such that the function is analytic at the deleted neighborhood of r. That is what we saw in the beginning. Okay, now if you look at this deleted neighborhood of z naught of radius r, that is precisely set up while z belongs to c such that 0 less than modulus of z minus z naught less than r. Okay, because z minus z naught equal to 0 if and only if z equal to z naught, but we have removed z naught, therefore every point here will satisfy this condition. Okay. Okay, now since z naught is a isolated singularity, we get such a Lorentz series expansion for z satisfying 0 less than mod z minus z naught strictly less than r. Okay, so basically this is the deleted neighborhood of z naught, and the deleted neighborhood of z naught is also a annular region in which r1 equal to 0. Okay. Okay, so now we have a Lorentz series expansion. Let's talk about different types of singular points. So we say a isolated singularity, a removable singularity, if all the the coefficients occurring before negative powers all 0. So for example, all these coefficient bn are all 0. Therefore, there is no negative terms, then the singularity, the removable singularity z naught is said to be a removable singularity. Okay, now suppose there is no negative terms. Okay, and you find this limit z tend to z naught f of z. Okay, what will you get? Limit z tend to z naught, all these powers goes to 0. Okay, therefore only n equal to 0 term will survive. When n equal to 0, you get z minus z naught whole power 0 is 1, so you get only a0. So if bn equal to 0 for all n, then limit z tend to z naught f of z equal to a naught. So this, to check some z naught is a removable singularity or not, we can very well check whether limit z tend to z naught f of z equal to some finite quantity. If it is a finite quantity, then z naught is a removable singularity. That is one idea. Or you can look at limit z tend to since z naught, z minus z naught times f of z equal. What is f of z times what will you get? So limit z tend to z naught, z minus z naught times f of z. Now, since it is a removable singularity, we don't have this part. And when you multiply z minus z naught, so now even n, even when n equal to 0, so basically it will become n plus 1. Okay. So now in each of this term here we'll have z minus z naught. Okay. Because now we have multiplied by, now we have, so we saw that earlier only a naught term doesn't have z minus z naught whole power, and now we have multiplied a new z minus z naught. So all this term, all the term in this summation will have z minus z naught, therefore the limit is 0. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is a two way of checking whether z naught is a removable singularity or not. Okay, let's directly go to essential singularity before see what is a pole. So if bn not equal to 0 for infinitely many n, what does it mean? It means that there are infinitely many negative powers of z minus z naught is occurring in the power series expansion of f of z around the point z naught, then z naught is said to be an essential singularity. Okay, now if there are infinitely many negative terms, then limit z tend to z naught f of z does not exist. Okay, if this does not exist, then we say that the limit is essential. Then we say that the singular point is a essential singularity. Okay, let's come to poles. So some bm not equal to 0 and bn equal to 0 for all n greater than m. Okay, so for some value it is non-zero, but after that for every higher values the coefficient bn is 0. In that case we say that z naught is a pole of order, z naught is a pole of order m. Okay, so the largest m for which bm is not equal to 0, that is said to be the order of the pole. Okay, so pole means that there are only finitely many negative terms. The largest bm, non-zero bm, that m is called the order of the pole. Okay, so we are going to see many examples, so it will be much clear to you. So suppose you have at z naught you have a pole of order m. Let's assume that. That means that in the Taylor series expansion bm will be not equal to 0, but all the higher powers will be 0. We don't know about the lesser powers, bm minus 1, bm minus 2, that might be 0, may not be 0, that we don't know. But m is the largest number such that bm is not equal to 0. Okay, let's continue. Now let's look at limit z tend to z naught, z minus z naught whole power k f of z. What is this value? Okay, suppose k is greater than m. Okay, what happened? There are the largest power of m such that bn is not equal to 0 is m. Okay, therefore when you multiply z minus z naught power k with k greater than m, all this negative power become positive power. Okay, so in all these terms will be since it is a pole, there will be only finitely many negative terms, but you are multiplying by some larger power of z minus z naught. Therefore all these terms will become z minus z naught to the positive power. Then when you apply z to z naught, you will get the value 0. Okay. Okay, so only better to explain with some example. For example, if it is a pole of order 2, maximum you will have 1 minus z naught whole square plus etc. Okay, plus etc means 1 by z minus z naught plus some constant term plus some positive powers going to be there. Now if you multiply this by z minus z naught power 5, z minus z naught power 5, then all these things in the denominator will get cancelled. You will get only positive powers. Okay, so then when you let z tends to z naught, So if it is like here you are letting z tend to z naught, all will be 0. Okay. Okay. So it is I mean it is easy to understand. I hope it is clear. Let's continue. Suppose k equal to m. If k equal to m, then what happens is all these negative powers will cancel. Okay. And we left with only positive part. Okay. In the positive part, if you let z minus z naught, z goes to z naught, you will get only a naught. Okay. So again, for example, in the same example, you can consider like it will be like suppose b2 by z minus z naught whole square plus b1 by z minus z naught power 1 plus a naught plus a1 z minus z naught whole power 1 plus some positive powers. It will be like this. So here the order of z naught is a pole of order 2 because there is only two negative terms are here in the Lorentz series. Now suppose if I apply by z minus z naught whole cube in this power series, so then this term will get cancelled, this term will cancel. So in b2 will be multiplied by z in b2 into z minus z naught plus b1 into z minus z naught whole square plus in all these terms you will get z minus z naught power. Okay. But now we are multiplying only by z minus z naught square, right? So yeah, so if it is a larger power, you will get everything will become 0. If it is even if it is equal to 2, I am multiplying. So this is k equal to m case what we are dealing. So here m equal to 2. So when I multiply z minus z2 whole square, so I will get b2 plus b1 times z minus z naught plus a naught times z minus z naught the whole square, a1 times z minus z naught whole cube plus etc. So finally the answer will be when you let limit z tends to z naught, all these numbers, all these things become 0. You will get only b2. In other words, this value will be bm. Okay. I hope you are following me. So if k less than m means suppose you are multiplying by just z minus z naught. Okay. Here the order is 2 but I am multiplying by lesser power, then the powers will be this will be 1 because I am multiplying by z minus z naught, so power will be reduced by 1 and here it will be 0 and this will be a naught plus a1. So here I will get a naught by so here I will get a naught times z minus z naught, a1 times z minus z naught whole square. So all the powers is get increased. Okay. So what we get? So we get when as limit z tend to z naught, uh, we have this term p2 by z minus z naught and so this will be some constant. Here all of them are going to 0 but only thing remains is so this is finite, this is goes to 0, but as z tend to z naught, z minus z naught goes to 0 but it is in the denominator, therefore whole thing is going to infinity. Okay. Therefore if k less than m, this limit is infinity. Okay. So this is one simple observation regarding the limit and the poles. So let's continue. Let's see. So now in the Lorentz series expansion, the coefficient of 1 by z minus z naught, that coefficient is b1. This b1 is what is called the residue of the function f at z naught. Okay. So the coefficient b1 is that what we call the residue of the function f of z. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Now we will see many example of functions for some for how to calculate whether it is a removable singularity or a pole or isolated singularity.